make to be a doctor, and I could help others as I have been helped.
Kahinga Georgie is living his dream of getting an education. He aspires to graduate and get a job in the medical field. None of that would be possible without the help he's received from his support system, a village of community members who have come together to send orphans to school. In Tanzania, Africa, education has become a commodity. Because of rising school costs and difficult family situations, fewer children are able to go to school in rural Africa. Orphans' children face even more obstacles in getting an education. But some of these children are helped by a village of supporters. At the heart of this village is Vinan Mugeni. Mugeni has used his organization, the AIDS Control Project, to help pay for schooling for orphans, especially those who have lost their parents to AIDS.
They needed to have a foundation for their lives. That is education. Without education, they can't manage lives after 18 years of age. Because below 18 years, they're under care of relatives, of neighbors, of the community, because they are vulnerable. Big children, they need someone to speak on their behalf.
The AIDS Control Project was started in Karagwe, Tanzania in 1991 in response to the HIV/AIDS pandemic. Mugeni, who was trained in medical studies and had worked at the local hospital, hoped to help those suffering with the virus.
The community was sadly affected by the pandemic. It came as an outbreak of HIV/AIDS, of which there was no clear direction. Who is to take care? Who is to belong to the services? Who is to support? Who is to treat? And who is to cure? And so the situation was really confusing.
Most of the family's resources would go to take care of the ill, leaving no means to pay for school fees and supplies for vulnerable children.
Whenever a relative would fall sick, they are contributing to take care for the sick. In so doing, the education was forgotten. They had to use their resources, their properties, even their money for buying drugs, and that is how the support came in terms of school fees and necessary school needs, their school contributions, because they would spend everything for the sick, and even sell some property from the family, trying to protect the life of someone, but at the end, someone dies. Well Wishers initiatives, people here, they planned, people would donate to supporting the vulnerables. That is how simply it was started. And because the problem was growing bigger as time went on, the project also grew. Yeah, grew. Because there were many needs coming in, many vulnerables coming in.
UNICEF has found the lowest rates of school participation in sub-Saharan Africa. 65% of children attend primary school and only 29% attend secondary school. Kahinga is an orphaned child who, with the help of Mugeni, has defied these statistics. He is currently in Form 4, the final year of secondary school.
The school has helped me, of course. Maybe according to the current issues, maybe we can't tackle them without getting education.
Yeah.
And it might be that education helping you to solve different problems in your life. Maybe the education which I've got up to now, it can help me to reach anywhere.
Yeah.
Yes. There are so many students, or there are so many children who are failed to go to school, maybe according to the unaffordability of the school fees.
Yeah.
And you know, no teacher or no institution will allow you to continue studies without paying them the fees. Yes. So the people to help the students is a good thing.
Kahinga spent several years in foster care, but before the AIDS Control Project discovered him, he constantly dreamed of going to school and empowering himself.
You know, for the person who haven't yet go to school, always he feels to go there, and is how I was feeling myself to go to the school.
Yeah.
Because I saw other people go to school, being educated, get employment.
When you're in a group, you are committed to do something. Yeah, your fellows will remind you, you have to do this, you have to do this, and when and how. But if there is nobody, you are free. Yeah, fighting with 3-6 wherever you go. Yeah, and there is no future. And you have no future yourself. And what about your generation? It might be there or not.
School of course is very essential.
Yeah.
And you know, nowadays without getting education, you can't maybe be employed. And without employment, there is nowhere you can get, let's say, something to help you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Secondary school is important for Tanzanian students because it's where they learn English, which can help them get a job and expand global opportunities.
School is a honor which, let's say, for the English I know up to now, is the one which has helped me to know it. And of course, maybe according to that, English is not my mother language. If I couldn't go to the school, I couldn't know it.
Yeah.
And of course, this English, according to the global way, global activities, you never go anywhere without knowing at least English, at least to express yourself. You can't interconnect with another person, maybe from outside of the country, without knowing English.
Okay. Kahinga was able to go to school with help from his village, Mugini with the AIDS Control Project, his sponsors from the U.S., family members like his older brother, and local volunteers. He is one of his school's best students.
I beg you more to give me the chance in the future plans so that my studies and all my dreams can be answered in the next.
Alison, another supported orphan, has also done very well in school.
Why do you want to do well in school?
Because I want to win and assist each other when I'm a doctor or I'm a pilot.
When Mugini met Alison, his parents had already died, leaving him and his 6 siblings to fend for themselves.
At the time when we discovered this family, they were almost living alone with the neighbors around. They had difficulties in getting food.
Our father and our mother dead years ago. That is why we are, because if our mothers could not be dead, you could not come even to see us, because we could be not be assisted.
Okay. Mugini helped provide a shelter and aid for the children.
The house left by their late parents was not so good. It was that they had almost falling down. The first priority was to think of the shelter for them.
Mugini asked Alison's older brother if he wanted to go to boarding school, but he said no because he heard the food was bad. But Alison said yes.
Do you want to be successful so you can help your brothers and sisters?
Yes.
For Alison, his village consists of not just family and volunteers, but friends from his school. Alison entered the English-speaking boarding school without knowing the language, but his friends helped ease the transition.
When we are newcomers, we speak Swahili, so after 1 week, because the other friends speak English, you can take a chance with your friend who knows English and he teach you.
Because of his quick adjustment to learning English and his resulting high grades, Alison is not an ordinary student.
There are not many, the ones we support like him. Yeah, he shows he's very active and coming on board very early. Yeah, if we can catch up in standard 4, and his colleague started with English in kindergarten, coming to primary 1, primary 2, primary 3, primary 4 in English, and have met them in 1 year. Yeah, it is something to be proud of. Yeah, you have used time, resources, now there is a reward for that.
Mugeni says this success in school is a way for students to pay back sponsors. He makes sure all the students supported by the program meet their sponsors, so they can understand where the donation is coming from and what's at stake. Alison is only one of the success stories the AIDS Control Project has had. Wilkes University Dean Dr. Linda Winkler has seen many success stories in her 10 years of being involved with the program.
From the early years, we sponsored a nurse, and she's now working as a nurse midwife in Tanzania. And she was a typical example. Parents died, and she came seeking support to go to school. And so we found a donor for her. We have another young woman who's working as a teacher now, preschool kids. And she was another good example of somebody who really wanted an education but couldn't afford it because her parents had died. And so she came to Vinant. And then there is a steady stream of students that we still support, that some of which we started as infants. And we're seeing their lives unfold as they're exploring a number of options. And so I think there's been success stories. I think it's a small way to give back to the community for the years of welcome that they've extended to the university students who've come here, and to us.
Dr. Winkler has helped find donors and raise money for these students to go to school. She says the students would be in a hopeless situation without this funding.
I think if you asked Vinant, he would say that one of the important things that he offers is hope. That he tries to choose families and orphans for donors who would have no ability to really have much of a life without the assistance from the donors.
Hope is something Mugeni brought to Ananias' family by connecting them with volunteers and getting Ananias back in school.
Do you feel like your work has brought this family hope, that they are able to support themselves?
Yeah. It has brought hope beyond beyond expectations. Yeah. We were thinking we couldn't reach this stage. Yeah.
Like other students, Ananias dreams of getting a job and supporting his family. Unlike other students, he has helped care for his sick and struggling family since the age of 12.
Ananias has been the person that has taken responsibility, even though he is only a middle child. He is now 18, but when we met him, even then when he was 12, he took responsibility.
When Dr. Winkler met Ananias, his father and little brother were seriously ill with HIV. The father died 4 years later. The little brother, Aurora, is now doing well, thanks to the help of a local volunteer and hospital treatment.
And a volunteer, Mr. Rashid Chekunda, has been taking care of Aurora, who is now 8 years old, and HIV positive case, and she was in a desperate situation and very weak and poor. And now the young boy seems to improve, and because volunteer has been working hard, you can see he's not very bad, although he has is living with virus, but the situation is not bad, because of caring.
If it wasn't for this support, Aurora wouldn't receive the medicine he needs, and Ananias wouldn't receive the education he strives for.
Our volunteers here are really very phenomenal in their dedication to the family.
So baada ya hapo, baada ya wao wazazi kuugua, wakaugua, nikawauguza, mwisho wakafa. Ikabidi hao watoto waliobaki nibaki nao kwa sababu wameshafiwa na wazazi wao.
After becoming sick and their death, of course, in different periods, I saw it as my responsibility to continue taking care of this family because it was a family friend.
And if it wasn't for the support from his sponsor in Pennsylvania, a sponsor who has funded the family since 2006, Ananias would probably be out of school and out of luck.
Do you think that he would have been able to go to school without that money?
It couldn't be easy. Yeah. There are so many boys of his nature, they are at home, they are not able to access school because of the school needs. Yeah, they are there. Yeah.
Ananias had been going to a nearby government school, trying to juggle studying and caring for his little brother. But because of issues at school and home, he did not perform well in the final exams.
The progress was poor because of malnutrition, insufficiency in development during childhood. That was affecting him very much. Even if he went to a good school, he couldn't really perform well.
But Ananias is not giving up. He hopes to enroll in the same secondary boarding school that Kahinga attends, and he hopes for the same academic success.
Kwa hiyo ninashukuru, naomba muendelee kunisaidia na kunipa moyo, na mimi nawashukuru sana. Nitajitahidi.
I'm ready to work hard when I manage to go back in school. I will put all my efforts and make sure I come up with something for my future and the family. He's now about to go back and review studies some 2 more years so that he can come out with a good credit to allow him to get fixed somewhere, whether going to high school or getting a good institution for getting knowledge and skills for his survival in the future and the family too. And being with the confidence there is someone behind me, yeah, it is another motivation for him to stay in school. Yeah.
The volunteers will take care of Ananias' little brother while he's at school.
Ananias will have to board at the good school. So Aurora will be fostered with the neighbors. And they have agreed to that, which is very, very generous and very, very giving of them. And that has been part of their dedication to their neighbors.
While some students have the support of neighbors and volunteers, not all children do. Benitha is a 13-year-old who dreams of becoming a teacher. But she is struggling with a difficult home situation, a missing sister, a malnourished nephew, and a blind mother.
This family was identified as like families who are in great need. For this was most worse than others because as you can see, the mother is totally blind.
When Benitha's older sister, Janister, was still living with the family, Mugini helped send her to school. He also provided them with a shelter, beds, and clothing. But when Janister left, deserting her son and younger sister, the situation became dire.
Later, we found a baby here. She was living with her baby here, with her blind mother. The situation was worse. And as time went on, we found them vulnerable in all aspects.
Mugini and the AIDS Control Project has been the only source of support for the family.
We have been taking care of them. This blind mother have been living difficult life.
Now Benitha is trying to get an education, but because there are no volunteers to help with things like transportation, she faces many obstacles.
It is difficult also when to go to school, and when they are coming back, they must have someone to take her on the way, to make sure she's at home safely or at school safely. The situation that needs well-wishers, someone committed to assist.
But despite these struggles, Mugini is looking to send Benitha on to secondary school once she finishes the primary level. Benitha, who loves school, is excited to move on.
I like studying. Thank you. I thanks you for paying for me the school fees. Thank you.
She says she's happy to hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She would be working hard to make sure she goes to another step. Yeah. For her future. Yeah, and the family too.
Though Mugini has to work with the school to ensure Benitha isn't dismissed from school with no place to go and no one to take care of her.
We told the school authority that whenever there is a need for school contributions, a need for abrupt increase of school fees and necessary fees which is beyond plans, which has been not in plans before, please, they shouldn't get them out of classes. They have to maintain them, they communicate with us. We shall be reacting positively on what they need, timely, rather than getting them out of school and they have nowhere to go. Who is to take care of them? Who is to give fare, coming home, and coming home to whom? Who is ready to take care? It is ourselves.
Despite difficult home situations, many students do very well at school. 10-year-old twins Anna Grace and Anna Grith are ranked 10th and 14th among their class, despite having lost their mother and having to help take care of an oversized family. They both hope to become teachers. Pius is second in his class while being the head of his household.
Physics, I got 92 over 100. Chemistry, I got 84 over 100. Biology, I got 82 over 100. Basic mathematics, I got 100 over 100.
Pius knows his success is made possible by support from his village neighbors and sponsors.
I would like to give out all my thanks to you for your support through this project of paying for me the school fees and other needs or pocket money. I feel happy and I study without any problem. So I say thank you very much.
Pius hopes to become a pilot and bring pride to the community that has come together for his well-being and education.
We are all working together in different ways.
Kwa hiyo tunafanya kazi pamoja kwa namna tofauti. Tunawezeshana.
And we are all very proud of Pius.
Sote ni sehemu ya Pius.
You will make the community proud.
This sense of community is a thread that connects all of these orphans and helps support their life goals.
I think the community is what surrounds them and holds them up. You know, the community is what provides them the day-to-day support. For Africa, there really is no way to exist without community because people are used to being collectively bound to other people. And so in every case of the particular orphans that we've been involved in, it's very important that there be a community here to support them.
This village of community members surrounds and supports these children, and in some cases they would not be able to survive without it.
It takes a village to raise a child. That it means a parent, even if there would be both parents taking care of their child, the child will not only depend on their parents to get grown and get everything for his or her life without having external input in terms of moral support, in terms of education, in terms of support of any kind. Yeah. Even preventing this child from risks like burning fire, falling into deep well, protecting them from different hazards which would affect their life. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Therefore, in the community, in the village, everybody is responsible to a particular child to do something. Directives, support, morally, materially if possible, and securing the safety of the child until it's grown.
Within this village, the AIDS Control Project, volunteers, and sponsors have brought children hope for their futures. Thanks to this support, Alamwenda, an AIDS sufferer, now has hope for her 3 children.
Yani mimi ninavyotegemea watoto wangu wasome, waendelee vizuri kusoma. Huko mbele nikiwa sijui nimeshafariki na wenyewe watajitegemea.
I'm expecting my kids to study hard so that one day, if I'm not there, they will survive on their own. Yeah. So they have to get capacity to survive in the future. Whether I'm living or not, but they must manage life. That is my hope.
Before the support, Alamwenda was in a hopeless situation. After her husband died from AIDS, she was stigmatized and driven from her home. Sick and shunned, she and her children struggled to survive in a small hut.
We discovered her as the most vulnerable and needy family. Where she slept is where she was cooking. It was cooking site. Is where she kept her everything, properties in the home. It's a hut which had no even a room. It was just a space with a non-shaded.
But soon, Alamwenda's new community came to accept and embrace her.
And she was totally discriminated by them. She couldn't get out and speak and share with others. But she's now very active. And there are some people who admire the way she lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's closer to the people. She's connected to the local structures. Her situation has improved very much compared to when she was discovered. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and she can travel on herself. She couldn't before. Yeah, she can go and knock to the door of any office without fear. Yes, yeah. She has the capacity now to stand and speak, to defend herself. Yeah. Yes, and she's recognized in the community. Yeah.
The AIDS Control Project and other services helped the family in this transition by providing them land, a hut and furniture for their shelter, and goats and chickens for food. On her own, Alamwenda plowed about an acre of her new land and planted her own banana trees.
Kwa sasa hivi naona nina kuku na mbuzi na kashamba kapo naona kanaendelea vizuri na kula ndizi.
Now I have chicken, I have goats, I have a small shamba which is giving me food. I'm surviving.
With her new life came more struggles. Many of the items Mugini provided to Alamwenda and her family were stolen. The community came together to keep her properties safe.
We approached the local leadership. They were very much active to fight and look for someone who is responsible. This shows that she is honored. She is accepted in the community. The leadership knows her. Therefore, she can sleep, she can eat, she can just sleep and know that I'm protected. I'm within the community than she was.
Now that the family's quality of life has improved, Mugini is working to also improve the children's education.
And now we have put someone to give extra lessons for the children. They were scoring very low by that time, but now they are improving. Yeah, they are improving. We hope they will do well as they go on. Yeah, and provided she is in your hands, things might change in the future after giving the capacities to the children. Yeah, we hope so. Yeah, in turn, we'll be able to assist their mother. Yeah.
Alamwenda and her children are not the only ones who now have hope for their future. Orphans all across Tanzania have been enabled to follow their future dreams because of Mugini's work.
They have great hopes, yeah, for their future. Because many orphans, when you ask them what is your dreams, they say, I would like to become a professional man or professional woman. In which areas they will tell you, I would like to be a teacher, to be a nurse, to be a doctor, to become a pilot, to become an engineer, to become a good farmer, to become a businessman, a businesswoman. Therefore, they have the dreams. Yeah. The most rewarding for me, for the work I do, is seeing the vulnerables having a future for their lives as individuals and for the future of the community. Yeah. And to have dreams met for the target group that we are working with, and of which we would put a history on the ground that we have made it possible. And the support from outside, with initiatives from here, and people can see and verify. Yeah, it is tangible. Yeah, that results. Yeah.
The future for the AIDS Control Project is also hopeful, as many successful students are returning to the program as advocates.
That's great.
We have some students who have become, of course, they were orphans, now they are advocates. Yeah.
That's great.
Yes, and they are fighting for the rights of their fellow orphans. Yeah, because they know the tough situation they went through. Yeah. And they are very serious about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In so doing, they are able to take care of the future orphans because they know exactly where they have passed it through. Yeah, who has supported them to be at that stage of which they couldn't manage. Yeah.
Mugini says the prospects would not be as hopeful if the 300 students his program supports every year were left to fend for themselves without education.
From the number we are supporting here, 320 students in schools, in institutions, and everywhere. If 350 children would remain in the community every year without going to school, how things would be in 5 or 10 years. Yeah.
It takes a village to give these students an education and hope for a future. Despite the difficulties these orphans face, they are working toward enabling themselves to support themselves, their families, and their community. Along the way, they give thanks to those who made it possible: Mugini and the AIDS Control Project, sponsors, volunteers, family members, and neighbors.
Let God bless you all with your heart of supporting orphans. Yours, Pius Pastor. This is the end.
Very nice.